I wouldn't think so. $250 a year, I'm sure. Everybody get their checks.
Slab on.
Okay.
This is split entry.
Okay.
Can we go on?
They have all that permafrost there, so it's either split entry or slab on grade.
Okay, I'm on
As
now.
deep as they can have a dig is about 3 feet.
Good, thank you.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everybody for coming. Today's date is December 10th, 2018. It's 6:30 and this is the the City of Motley's regular council meeting. Present we have Steve Johnson, Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Reagan, myself, and missing or absent is Councilmember Hutchinson and Councilmember Carlson. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have a couple things.
Okay.
I think we forgot to turn it on. Under 7F, under the administrative department, I need to discuss school district possible election. And under the fire department, Jace contacted me, approval to send some firefighters to a training conference in Mankato in the spring.
Okay, so under the administrative one, which one, what are you gonna add? Or what would you like to add?
For myself,
Right.
Elections for the
Elections.
school district.
And under fire is, what were you adding there? I'm sorry.
Firefighters, approval to send 6 firefighters to the training conference in Mankato in March.
Okay. Okay. I know we haven't done this before, but I think I found out we probably should be doing them, so I would like to get a motion to approve adding those to the agenda.
I will make that motion to add these two.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Johnson, second by Reagan. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Lacey. Go to the consent agenda. I'm looking to make get a motion to approve consent agenda from A to H.
So moved.
Motion made by O'Regan, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Johnson. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 6, we'll go to Helen Hall, requesting snowbirds not to have to pay garbage, page 13. Well, this has come up time and time, and I know that the ones that do leave have an issue with this, but you guys want to talk about this again?
We have to pay the company whether they pay the bill or not, don't we? The
Right.
city?
Mhm.
Okay.
The problem with that, the last time when I was on the council, I believe you two were too, but we had people saying they were snowbirds and they weren't.
There's been a lot of problems with Mr. and Mrs. Hall. Mr. is gone now, but
Right.
there's been a lot of problems with being here or not being here.
Right.
So
So part of me, I've talked to several cities about this a while ago already, and most of them, what they do, they have like a drive-by charge where they do a fee anyhow, but it's not the full amount. But I guess I just don't think it's that high that we should have to worry about it. But that's my opinion on it. If for some, no, does every property that resides has to have this, correct?
That is something that we've plan to discuss when we look at the garbage ordinance and the water and sewer ordinances, hopefully early next year.
Because if it's a vacant property or a property nobody lives in, at that point, they would not get billed that.
Correct, but the definition of a property being vacant or not hasn't really ever been decided, so that's something that I would like to clarify in the ordinance, so it's more clear for us. And in this particular case, she does not actually reside at the property and will no longer be able to reside in her RV for several months of the year, so the garbage and recycling charges will stop. And she'll be notified that unless she follows the ordinance, she
Right.
won't be able to.
Because the new RV ordinance that which we're about to pass is gonna stop that.
Oh, sorry.
Correct. Does that make sense?
I'm talking about it for forever.
Okay, so I think we, you guys wanna, do we wanna make a motion on, somebody wanna make a motion on this? Bill? Okay, Steve, you wanna make a motion on anything? No, alright, so we're gonna just leave it the way it is. Alright, the next one is Gerald Gertz, wants a new building proposal on page 14. Gerald is here. Gerald, you have the floor.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I bought the property down there, on Cedar Street, and, I got all sorts of ideas running through my head, and it just came from Morrison County Soil and Water Conservation when they had their tree day last Thursday. And about a couple hundred trees to go plant out there, and, west and the north side, so they kind of, distinguish my boundary lines, and so I got questions like, how do I know where the boundary lines are? Where do I just start planting trees out there? And
Right.
until somebody says, that's not my land, I figured I'd just talk to the local people, that have land around me or butting up against that land and get there. Whatever they tell me, go by that. I talked to the surveyor, he said that section's never been surveyed, so it's gonna be pretty expensive to survey that. And I said, well, wouldn't it be surveyed from like the town out to that edge, at the edge of town there, And how far does the town exist beyond me? Is it go out to the river?
It goes past you.
Goes past out to the river?
Yep.
Okay, well, got that question answered.
So if you go down Morris Street and come into them streets, the Postel and all them streets are still in the city limits.
Okay.
So it goes past you quite a ways.
So it goes all the way around that big old loop of the river then, basically?
It only goes as far as the roads that go north, and then after that, it goes into the county, is my understanding, right, Bruce?
Cut straight east.
Right. So when them roads quit, then it becomes county again. So
Yeah, if I go out on that road, I can look through the trees and see the edge of my property,
Okay.
Wherever.
So the property you're talking
Ian
about
lives
is,
down that road, I can see Ian's place real good, and,
okay.
yeah.
You're talking about May's property, is that what we're talking about?
Bundy property.
Bundy, Bundy, I guess, okay. So, but you had talked about, so you're gonna do trees.
Yeah, well then, I ain't gonna go put a building up right away, I figured come back and add, this building idea was in my head, got it set there. But, if you don't know the edge of the property line, you don't know what setbacks or anything else is.
Right.
But if the trees are gonna go in first before I do anything, I wouldn't build nothing up there until probably, absolutely next year, maybe the year after.
Sure.
How do I determine where?
Well, so the property line is the owner's responsibility, unfortunately. Maybe if you talk to your neighbors, because here's the deal, if you go off what they tell you to do and somebody ends up surveying it, you're kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah,
So it would be nice if you guys would get it surveyed so you know exactly where it's at. And what I would do is, honestly, is talk to the neighbors, see if they'd help you split it up maybe, and you guys could get that surveyed so everyone knows where the exact property is.
well, that's the thing, they said, I said, well, how do you know where this guy's land ends
Right.
and that guy's land ends, if you
Right.
don't know, just when that guy cuts lawn up to there, there's nothing
Yeah, you
really-
might have to be 10 feet over or something, you don't
Well,
know.
10 feet, you can cut that up pretty easy if it's only a 10-foot.
Yeah, but when you start building, then it's not, or trees,
Well,
then
you
it's
put
an
trees in
issue.
and, and I understand that's zoned residential,
Mhm.
And if I wanna change that up, well, I'd have to come back to you guys and
Correct.
ask you about that,
Correct.
you know, so that's,
And we're all residential out there, and so it would require, either a variance or, yeah, and Scott, Lacy has, or Darian, I mean, he has all that information for you, and she can give you a card for him.
yeah, and then there's a, proposed road through there, you know, I don't know where that would be.
Right.
Anything, there's all sorts of, okay, if it's not surveyed, you don't know.
Right,
Am I planting the trees right down the middle of the road? You know, as you can see where I got a lot of questions here.
right. Bruce, you don't know of any, I mean, that's what, the owner is responsible for the,
And I
and,
don't know of any pins out there, I can,
right.
just trying to see if there's anything showing up on the beacon here,
Bruce, closest one I know of that's actually been surveyed is mine.
but is your pin? Okay.
Mine's been surveyed, yeah.
So we could get measurements off that, can be real close anyway.
Yeah.
You could
that's-
come close, but there's no guarantee on that, and the thing
No,
is,
but it'd be,
if you plant trees on somebody else's property, the trees belong to them,
yeah,
you know? And
Yeah.
if you build something on somebody else's property, it's their building.
well, that's why, you know,
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
then-
come in here and talk to you guys and
Right.
got these questions raised. I
Yeah.
got no, when the surveyor said, well, it's gonna cost you over $2,000 because nobody's ever
Mhm.
touched that, and I said, well, why?
Yeah,
The city would have some idea where the end is, or beginning is.
I know what it costs, I paid to have mine surveyed, so
Right.
I know.
I would highly recommend you do get it
Well,
surveyed.
because I thought that
Mhm.
there'd be a pin out there because of the old folks home, because that had to be kind of put out there.
Not necessarily, that was quite a few years ago when that was built, so,
But even then, you just never know, like I have
Right.
stakes on I have a very odd shaped lot in my house and I won't build anything until we pay to get it surveyed.
yeah.
Cause I don't trust the markers that are out there and there's one missing. And if that one's in the wrong spot,
And honestly, 2,000 is a lot of money, I get that, but $2,000 can be cheap if you end up being on somebody else's property or you have to move a
Well,
building, you
no.
know?
You say, you know, if you kind of have an idea, you can give yourself all that room and go with that, you know.
Yeah.
It's a big enough piece of property, I think I could.
I would get a hold of Darren,
Like you said, I'd like to have an idea.
Right.
Where to start with.
right, I'd get a hold of Darren, but I don't know how much Darren's gonna be able to help you either until he gets it, knows exactly where the boundary lines, cause if you build anything, it's gonna have to be within so many feet off your boundary lines.
Yeah.
If nobody knows, I'm guessing he won't even issue you a permit until we figure this out, so.
That mobile home park there may also be surveyed. I don't know for sure on that.
The problem is that it's at an angle compared to his property is
Yeah.
squared off north and south.
And then that's
The whole
actually-
rest of the town is at an angle.
Directly behind them, going north-south, is actually a street that hasn't been put through.
Thorman, yep.
Exactly, and that's the thing, you know, where's that street?
Cause well, it's pretty much off the edge of that trailer house for 80 feet, but you don't have this strip here either, right?
Yeah, I bought that strip too.
We did buy that one?
Yeah.
So we could go up to, off of his property pins, we could measure easy enough to there.
Yeah, get a real good idea.
And there, and get this line identified,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, that'd be just awesome.
that one we can figure out easy.
Be,
Find a pin.
I'd be happy with something like that, then you know,
But-
you've got something to work with.
Well, that gives you an idea, but it still does not give you a hard thing
No.
that's where its line's
I
gonna be.
don't need something hard.
and that's not something the city would do for you. Cause we can't be held liable for any type of,
Well, you said, or start planting trees, okay, you know, I might be off 5 feet or 10 feet one way or the other, so what, you might lose a row of trees.
Right.
It ain't gonna, it's not the end of the world.
I can't help you with that, but
I'm not-
yeah.
I'm not-
I would definitely recommend that if you really wanna do this the right way, would be get it surveyed.
Yeah,
You
that's
get
what,
the pins in there exactly where they're supposed to be,
that's what I would recommend.
you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I don't really wanna go, drop that kind of go on my meter income.
Do you think the neighbors would, if you talk to them, would it kick in $500 just to get the line right, where you know where it's at? If you did one on each side, there's 1,000, you know?
I don't know what, you know, the guy in the trailer court, I'm sure he went, maybe out on Cedar Street, maybe.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know
Just
how
a
the guy
suggestion.
to the north of me is, I never talked to him at all.
Right.
But that's why it's here, just to, you know, who do I go to, where do I, gotta start someplace, it's in the city limits.
Well, Scott would be the first guy I'd talk to, and like I said, Lacey has his card she can give to you, and you can take it home with you and call him, he's from Little Falls.
I got Scott's number. Yeah.
Okay, he'd be the first guy that can direct you as far as the building, if you're gonna decide you wanna build something or something, but as far as the, I don't think he'll even deal with on the boundary line issue,
Karen,
Yeah.
probably.
Mhm.
so.
So you said you guys have something.
Well, I don't know if it shows there's something out here.
Oh,
Government corner.
yeah, a government corner, that'd really be good.
If you can find it.
It's right there by the tree.
Yeah.
It might be marked out there somewhere. All right, do you have anything else you wanna talk about?
Marking that tree.
Must be, yeah.
You have anything else, Jared?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, thank you very much for listening.
yeah, no problem. Good luck with that. Thanks and welcome to the city
Thank you.
to buy a property. Appreciate that. All right, we're gonna move on. Planning and zoning, do you have any business?
Don't have anything actionable at this time.
Except, can we have a recommendation though, right?
Yeah, we have that recommendation, but that's coming up.
We're not doing it today. I think-
It's later. The
It's
last
on- it's
time
on
I put
here.
it under planning and
It
zoning
should've
and
been
Pat
on planning
said,
and
no,
zoning."
let's talk about it later. So this time I put it later.
No, last time it wasn't under plan zone.
It was. The recommendation was. In any case.
That's right.
It's later.
So, yeah, actually for me, it makes it easy if we're gonna do planning and zoning stuff, we put it under planning and zoning and then just move on. If you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, building department, I don't think we have anything there. Fire department,
November, 11 calls, 8 were medical, 1 was good intent, 2 were fires. We have a new firefighter pending your approval and background check and physical exam.
oh, nice.
We also need your approval, the fire department has already approved 2 leaves of absence for firefighters. One is a 1-year leave of absence for personal reasons, and the other is, I believe it was 3 months for medical reasons.
You said one's 1 year?
Yes.
Okay. So, the approval of a hire pending satisfactory background and check, why, are we allowed to know who this party is?
Yep.
Okay.
Karen Johnson, or Karen Feedy.
Easy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm looking for a motion to approve pending her satisfactory completion of background and her physical exam for Karen Thiede.
I will make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Johnson, or, yeah, Johnson, second by O'Regan. Any more discussion? All right, yeah, we're having a meeting here, so, thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we need an approval for leave of absence for the 1 year. Is that, can we add a name to that? I would think we would have to. We can't prove something that we don't know who it is.
Brandon Mertens.
Brandon. All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve Brandon Mertens for, is he the 6 month or the 3 month?
He's the 1 year.
The 1 year, okay, for 1 year.
Is that Brian or Brandon?
Brandon.
Brandon.
And you guys are okay with that, the fire department?
Yeah, it was, he was gonna quit, or we
Okay,
actually talked him into a leave of absence, so that we didn't lose any of our training we had into him, if
Okay.
he should decide to come back.
okay, that makes sense. Okay, looking for a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Reagan, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Johnson. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The second leave of absence is for 3 months, and who's that?
Bert Herman.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve Bert Herman 3-month leave of absence.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Johnson, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by O'Regan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of, oh, you go ahead. You guys approved the officers already, I assume?
Approval of officers, there were no changes for 2019.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the officers as listed here. Looks like Chief Brad Olson. First assistant is Jim Umman. And second assistant is Jace Carlson. And the medical officer is Nick Stilley. Looking for a motion to approve them.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Johnson.
Second.
Second by O'Regan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have anything else?
This.
Oh, you have that other one, yeah, that
approval
training.
For school, yeah.
So it would include 6 firefighters. I believe last year, I believe they stayed one night, it could be 2. They had mentioned that they might be willing to share rooms to cut down on costs.
And mileage would be
they'll
nice if they could
carpool.
pool.
Yeah, they'll carpool, and then I think last year there was only 2 meals per person, and they have money in their budget for 2019.
Okay. So looking for a motion to approve 6 firefighters who will get training done, their meals and transportation.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Johnson, second by Reagan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any comments or concerns for the fire department? I want to say thank you for coming to our meetings. I know you probably there's going to be days you can't and don't feel like you have to be here for every meeting, but it's nice to see you here. All right, police department.
Okay, see on page 16, the monthly report, we had 74 calls for the month, which brought us to a total of 1,144 calls as of November 30th. I got called out one time from home to respond to a call, and I put in 21.75 hours at the school for the month of November.
Cool.
Does anybody have any questions on the report?
And that the school hours are what you're keeping up with those?
Yeah, I'm keeping up with them as best as I can right now with everything else in the background going on, but once we have another officer, I should be able to put in a few more hours.
Are we behind or not really?
A little bit,
Okay.
but if you average it out per week over the year, yeah, we're a little bit behind, but there's no set amount that we have to be there, a certain
Right.
number of hours each week.
I get that, I just don't wanna fall way behind where we were at one point. But no, I thank you for keeping up on them.
Next, have sale of the Crown Victoria squad car listed on the agenda. Bruce and I have both been talking, we're looking at trying to lighten up our load on the city vehicles. Right now, the Crown Vic is sitting in storage. We haven't used it very much this last year. And it's kind of a waste to let it sit there and pay insurance on it and rot away, so there's no real need for it. So I was looking for approval to possibly put it up for sale, try to get as much as we can out of it and put that into the fund towards a new squad.
And then you would sell it with the equipment, lights and everything in it?
We could do it either way. We can try to sell the lights and equipment separately, or we could leave it in there, pending that another agency would want it with the lights, but typically if it went to a private sale, we'd have to get rid of the emergency lights and all that equipment out of it. A lot of the equipment in there is very outdated and
How would you do that though, when you advertise that? It just advertise it like that? If it's another agent, they can have the lights and equipment, or?
My preference would probably be to take it and get the equipment removed and try to sell that separately. We could do that as well, but then just put the vehicle itself on auction sites such as MinBid. They seem to be getting pretty good prices from vehicles through there. The equipment inside is probably not worth anything to start with. Like I said, most of it is way outdated and
I think Bruce can have some
obsolete.
fancy lights on his truck. No, I think it's a smart idea, and I think, and is that something that you would hire somebody to take off, with Bruce and be one cutting the lights off, and?
We could possibly do it ourselves.
Bruce, is that something you guys would tackle?
There'd be any
Just,
issue.
just take stuff out?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can take it over to Star Squads in Aldridge.
Right.
Jim, I think, charges like $300 or $500 for removal of all the equipment.
I think if, the fact that the equipment's old, if he wants to do it, save $300 or $500, why wouldn't we? He'll probably steal a light or two from me.
It's a nice house.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If you're late for work one day,
How does the council feel about selling the Crown?
I'd make a motion to do it myself.
Okay, you good with it?
Yes.
Okay. Motion made by Reagan. Looking for a second.
Second?
Second by Johnson. Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned some of the stuff is outdated.
Yeah.
Is it usable? And the only reason I'm asking that, if we sold it with the stuff, could another department, small city, use it? And be
Most
legally
likely
equipped?
not. Like the radar unit, when the guy calibrated it this fall for me, he said it's the last one in the 5-state area.
Okay.
It's so far outdated that they're obsolete.
Well, even the Crown Vics are, you don't seem to be driving them no more because they're old. What year is that?
I'm not positive.
The demo car.
Yeah.
I'll watch. That was early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an early
It might be a
2000s.
2001.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next, I have security cameras on there. Bruce was able to help me find a really good deal on a security camera system. Exact same brand and everything that we have down at Larry Converse Park. It's a DVR system with 4 camera heads for $200. And I was looking for council approval to install that inside of City Hall here. I want to be able to put them in a couple of different locations, one being the entryway, one in my office, and possibly covering the public corridors of City Hall.
And who is, was Bruce installing them then, or?
Yeah, Bruce and I would probably install them ourselves.
So here's my thing, is, my thought of it is, it's a good idea, but if, like, I don't know, I just feel like we should almost wait to see what's gonna happen with the school. Why would we put extra here if, you know what I mean?
They'd be easy, would they be easy to pull out and relocate somewhere else?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they'd be easy enough. One of the main reasons is the front entry. I'd like to have that covered, being as we have that medication drop box there. By DA standards, we should have it under surveillance, so.
I guess at some point, if it was something did happen at the city hall, it'd be under surveillance too, so we'd have video of it, which would help at some point, but.
Yeah, with them being easily removed and relocated, I think.
And you'd have the DVR in your
Yeah,
office.
the DVR would be located where only I'm accessible to watch it, myself or the other officer.
And then, like, are you guys doing like a little policy type thing? Like how long would
We
you
can
video?
draft a
or-
policy if the council feels that we need to have a policy.
You guys
for
feel
it,
like we
or-
do?
Not for public areas, I don't. I don't see what kind of policy, I mean, because,
We should have a policy on like who can get the recordings.
oh, and
You
that,
know,
yeah, I mean,
who, where do they stay? You know, like he would be just I think some even generic that, you know, the police is
Yeah.
in charge of it and holds them, and
Well, not in the, yeah, I was thinking of from the other end, but yeah.
you can work on that, so. So you guys think we should be putting them in here?
It sounds like a good idea, from
Okay.
what I know.
I lean both ways, I lean, you know, I mean, we have them at my office, back doors and stuff, and there's time to help you, but as long as it's not, he doesn't have to hire somebody to just install them and spend more money on them, I'd rather save that in case we end up moving and then do it, but if it's not, no cost to the city, then I guess it's no big deal.
They can install them and then they can relocate them, and we'd have that thing we have in the entryway for the pharmaceuticals.
Right.
We would have that covered.
Are you putting one on the outside door to the parking lot, or no? You have 4 heads?
There's 4 heads, yeah, so I guess that would be up to you guys if you want one outside of the front door covering the parking.
How hard is that, Bruce, if we ran on an out front door, just kinda front?
Gotta drill a hole to the wall.
Is that Wi-Fi? The cameras?
The DVR is, these are all hardwires, they just plug and play.
Do you have any cameras, like, just on the door for the fire department?
Nothing anymore.
So maybe, if we do approve this, maybe one of them could be used for their door too, being that there's 4 heads. I'm kinda on the fence too, but $200, you know, and they can be removed.
You can always get more heads for them, I think, too.
Yeah, I think you're only 60-foot cables, so wherever you have the thing, I think you're gonna make the house
Okay.
go that way. The reason I picked this up is we wanted some more at Congress Park, and it's the same price to buy a whole new system as buy 4 more heads
Okay.
on Black Friday, so pick that stuff up to cover it. Now we got an extra recorder too, so if you wanna mix and match.
All right. Looking for a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we purchase that with Bruce installing them.
It's purchased already, we just need to, he wants approval to install them on the city hall. He's already got them, so.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanna make sure that you were not wrong understanding. So, motion made by Johnson, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Reagan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have anything else, Jason?
Oh, that'll do it.
All right.
Well, I did wanna mention, let the council know from the last meeting, we were able to get the pigs moved out of town, so they are no longer in city limits.
Perfect,
The council's aware.
perfect. Thank you for being persistent.
Definitely.
Any other comments,